In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what I've learned after my small business essentially killed a friendship. My small business didn't do it directly. However, the circumstances of being a business owner, the pressures in the business, out of the business, around the business, created a situation where there was a lot of problems. And so I'm not going to be getting into the details and bad-mouthing anyone. I'm not going to be giving any personal details or throwing anybody under the bus. However, I do want to share with you some points after I've reflected and digested the whole situation and really just tried to understand what just happened. How did we get here? How can this not happen again for any future friend, for any other situations that might come up, and really using this as a life lesson in general to be a better communicator to those around me. When you're communicating with anybody in life, friction, problems can happen. So in this video, I hope to share some points that can help save relationships or friendships in your life as a business owner, and to be able to better navigate through these trials and issues that come up as they're happening. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So something that stuck out like a sore thumb at the beginning of the friendship that eventually grew into a much larger problem that was a lot more noticeable was the difference between my normal and their normal. Being a business owner versus somebody working a full-time or a part-time job, being able to leave work at work is just not even possible for me. Day in, day out, from when I wake up till I go to bed, throughout the entire day, weekdays, weekends, I'm thinking about my business. I'm trying to keep this small baby business alive and to grow and expand it. I don't have the luxury of being able to say, I'm done. Now this is my time from here on out. As a business owner, we can't just say, I'm done. Unless you want your business to just crash and burn and have a horrible reputation, we have to care. We have to be thinking. We have to be thinking ahead. And so somebody who's not a business owner versus somebody who is, it's a different mindset. And it's for a good reason. They're not being paid. They don't have the full, vested interest in the business. They don't have stock in the company. They don't have anything. They're paid hourly or salary, whatever it is. It's just different. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the mindset is different. So my normal is not their normal. And that kind of sets the trajectory of thinking and philosophy and things that's on a deeper level and really can cause some friction in between there. So understanding that my normal is not everybody else's normal, and that's okay, but that also comes with problems. That also comes with issues down the road, possible priority issues or a difference in time management and those things. Before I started my dumpster rental business, I was an RV transport. I'm still currently doing that sort of, as it's been very slow for the last several months, but I was always coming and going. I was always out on the road, didn't know when I was going to get home exactly. Problems happen out on the road. Problems happen out with dumpsters. Issues, delays, angry customers, long phone calls. All of these things pop up in a dumpster rental business or any business, and you have to deal with the fires. You have to put the fires out. As many people say, you have to be a firefighter. The owner of a business is a firefighter, just solving problems, being a problem solver. And that requires a lot of time, energy, and it's just a different normal. And so that was the first thing that jumped out to me and really grew into a much larger piece of our situation where I was like, man, this is tough to navigate because I'm used to doing this and just things happening all the time and having to be flexible and being understanding with these things. And this person is used to, I clock out, I have free time. I'm going to go do this at this time. I'm going to go do that at that time. That's it. And so really difficult to manage and be flexible with that when there's a lot of hard lines in the sand. So that was the first thing. Going right along with that, and not that I didn't know this before, but it really was emphasized in this friendship, was that I need to be more direct and honest about my schedule, about my priorities, and not just assume that they know. what I'm saying and what I'm thinking, but actually spelling it out for them. Hey, I have to take care of my business. What that looks like is if I get a phone call in the middle of this or that, depending on what it is, I may have to get out of here and go do that. I may not be able to get here at this time exactly because I'm dealing with XYZ over at whatever place because something else happened. I hope you know my intentions, that I want to be here. I want to be honest with you. I hope you know that I have every intention of being here at this time, doing this or doing that with you or for you or whatever this is. But understand, I do need a little bit of flexibility because I have this thing that I have to take care of. There's nobody else to do it. And so putting that all up front, being honest and direct with these things, so that we have talked through these things. There is no wild card answer. There is no miscommunication. I've spelled everything out for you to the degree that I can. I'm able to communicate exactly what this friendship could and would look like if we're going to be investing in each other as friends. Then I've got to be able to communicate that and be honest. And I don't think that I was ever dishonest with where I'm at, what I'm doing. It's just I assumed a lot. And even in another friendship, I've recently really noticed, wow, Daniel, you really assume that they just read your mind, or that they, of course, they know this about that, or whatever. I'm like, whoa. You can't just assume these things. Like, they are not mind readers. Just because you think they're on the same page as you, they might not be. And it wouldn't hurt to clarify and make sure, hey, we're good to go, right? This is exactly what it is, right? And talk through those things and be gracious about it. If they're truly your friend and you care about them, then you need to be able to go the extra mile and put in the work to that friendship so that you're both actually on the same page, not just assuming, and you're being intentionally honest and spilling the beans, telling the truth about the whole process of what this looks like to be a friend with you as a business owner. So that's another thing. This next point is something that I just absolutely dread, and I hope that it never happens. But that is, sometimes there are people who have unrealistic expectations. They don't understand. They don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, how you're doing it. And there's just such a divide that it's too much for them to bridge that gap. They've only worked as an employee their whole life. They've never owned anything. They've never taken that big of a risk on anything. And it's tough for them to bridge that gap. And especially if you haven't bridged the gap to them to help explain. And like I just mentioned in the previous point, it's going to be very difficult for them to understand and get it. And if you don't put in the time into working on that, or even if you do and they still don't understand and they have these unrealistic expectations of, well, it doesn't matter because you should be able to do this and this and this or whatever it may be. Some people at the end of the day, they still might not understand. They still might have unrealistic expectations, and you can't do anything about it. As much as you want the friendship to work, as much as you hope the friendship will work in the future, and if you just do this and this and this, it'll somehow work out, it still might not, because two parties, you and the person, have to be willing, have to be understanding enough. You both have to be trying to bridge that gap. That's not always possible, and that really stinks. It really stinks. But that's a hard truth you have to be willing to accept, even if you've done everything you possibly can. And I can tell you, to be honest, in this situation, I'm sharing this because I'm learning through this. I did not do everything I could have done from the very beginning all the way forward. I was not perfect in it. This person had a difficult time from the beginning. And even though I tried more and more to share about these things, as I was trying to put words to what I'm thinking and feeling, it was not enough. And so being willing to accept that, okay, they truly aren't going to get it, and they do have maybe unrealistic expectations or whatnot, that's it is what it is. You have to be okay with that. That is a hard pill to swallow. So that's the next point. Next is that when you're operating your business, you're going day to day, you're putting in the time, you're putting the effort, you're doing all that you can do. And yet you still want to visit with friends. You still want to do things together. You still want to XYZ. The communication for those things to work, it just about has to be a Black Ops SEAL Team 6 mission. You have to be so good at communication to completely explain, here's where I'm at, here's what I want to do with you, how can we accomplish this together, and to be on the same page. For you to communicate, it has to be a top priority. Communication above just about anything else. Like you can't go visit with each other and have lunch together or do this or that or any activity if you don't communicate. Like you're not going to be there. You're not going to meet the person there if you don't talk to them and if you're both not on the same page. But if communication is just kind of a hobby for you, if communication is not to the degree that you would want to, even with a customer, talking them through the whole process of whatever service you're providing for your customer there, the same degree of effort that you would for a financial transaction between selling your service or a product to a customer, you should put that much plus probably more into a friendship, more into that type of a relationship, so that you're on the same page, that you're fully on board, and it's a smooth transition. It's a smooth process. Communication is very tough sometimes. It takes a lot of effort. I would say more effort than, like my first junk removal job, more effort than literally moving concrete bricks up a hill and then things blowing up. Literally, communication is king, and you've got to have that. And if you're going to be able to run your business and operate it in the busy season, in the slow season, and have friends that don't hate you, that are on the same page, communication has to be there. It just has to be a top priority. And that is a tough, dreadful thing to maybe hear, because you're being constantly pulled by everything around you. Family, work, not bad things, but things that are good, people that are good, friends. It takes even more effort. So if you're wanting to have a friendship and operate a business and have a family and do all these things, understand it takes a lot more effort to do that. And communication is how we do that. The last 2 points I'm going to kind of smash together, which is sometimes there's not reconciliation. To reconcile the relationship, to bring back together, to reconnect, whatever you want to say. If there has been a problem, there's been a breakdown in communication, you haven't clearly communicated what your schedule is, your priorities, what your mindset is, what's going on around you, all of these different things. If that doesn't happen and there is a divide, it's possible that there might not be reconciliation. The next point right connected with that is every relationship I have, any problem I have with a friend, with family, with anybody else, my goal is specifically to reconcile that relationship. This belief that I have stems from my personal relationship with Jesus Christ. I believe God reconciled myself to him. He bridged the gap to save my soul, literally, so that I can have fellowship with God. I can be a friend of God. I can have a relationship with God. And even when I was an enemy of him, he still sought me out. And for me, I want to do the same to others. I don't want to be at odds with anybody. I don't want to have any enemies. I'm sure I somehow do. I don't really care to have them. I would love to have them as a friend. But if the relationship can't be reconciled, and there's a divide, there's a problem, it's my belief, I want to have hope that it could come back together, that there someday could be reconciliation, that we could communicate together and make things work and be at an understanding and have that hope. That's what I want to have. That's what I do have. To the degree I can, giving everything I have, I want to do that. Understanding that the other person, the party, they might not want that. There may be issues that they need to work on right now, that they're not ready or maybe prepared, or whatever the issue may be. It's just maybe not the right time. And so I have hope that someday maybe it could be reconciled, that all of these things, all this communication, all this stuff, I can learn from it. I can be a better person from that. I can be more intentional with future friends, with other people around me. I can learn and grow from it, and hopefully maybe they can too. And we can maybe someday come back together in these things. This small business didn't directly destroy the friendship, but it presented the atmosphere, the circumstances, the issues that were already there that basically put the whole thing in place to be squashed. I have no hate towards this person. I would love to be a friend to this person. I have nothing but humility and gratitude, and I just want to learn from this so that I can be a better friend. I want to be a better friend and be a better business owner and be a servant to those who pay me money to provide services, like all of these things. It's all connected. Customers, friends, family, all this stuff. And so I want to learn from this and to be better at these things, to take better action in these things. I know I have a long way to go. I'm still currently learning these things. I don't know everything, and I want to improve. And so maybe this can help you. If maybe you're struggling with a family member, a friend, whoever it may be, some of these points I think could really help a lot of people, because boy, oh boy, it's helping me and challenging me. And so take the time, think through these things. Maybe there's somebody in your life that, man, this could maybe really help. And to be honest, it has to start with you. It's not going to start with them. You be the person to lead the charge in reconciliation and communication and talking through all these things. What does this look like? Maybe they're coming from a different point of view. They don't own a business. That's scary stuff to them. They don't even know what do you do all day? Who knows what you do? Like, you're not clocking into work. Like, it's two different worlds crashing together. And we've got to be able to connect these things and talk through it. So I hope this was a help to you. If it was, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button. I'm sharing my journey as I'm going in real time. I don't have all the answers. I do know the one who does, and he reconciled me, and now I'm a friend of his, and I want to do the same because of that with other people around me. I love people. I care about people, and this is my heart. So I hope you have a great day today, guys. Stay safe, and God bless.